Hey, friends. We're starting personality disorders here as part of our personality unit. So, right now, this is the first part. This is just like background on personality disorders, just general sort of stuff. And when you're done, of course, you got to do the practice that goes with it to show mastery. All right. So, personality disorders, lesson one. You should have a document up that you can follow along with. Either you printed it and you can write it, or you can use the Cami document, and you can actually fill that in by opening it up in Doc Hub, or you can upload it in another program on your computer, which is escaping my mind right now. But I'll have updates on the Chromebook. All right, so personality disorders, lesson one. First off, personality disorder basically means, oh, by the way, on the right hand side, and you can't really see it, but it says about 9% of people actually have some form of a personality disorder. All right. So what does that mean? One, usually people with personality disorders have extreme difficulty dealing with people. Like they just have difficulty, a lot of conflict, or they just avoid people because they have trouble dealing with them. All right, good. Also, they're unable to deal with changes in life. So things happening is going to really be difficult for them. They don't deal well with change. Also, personality disorders feel that they are normal or right. You're the person with the problem, not them. So that's really important. Like if you feel like, man, there's like something wrong with me, like I feel depressed, that's probably not a personality disorder, because a personality disorder thinks that they are right and everyone else is wrong. Okay. So the problem is when you think you don't have a problem, then it's interesting is that that's where personality disorders show up. Also, they avoid social activities in the extreme. So that's usually, and again, this is a general thing, but generally social activities they avoid because they have trouble dealing with people. I mean, this makes sense, right? So they don't really want to be involved in other activities. And lastly, and this is probably the most important thing to remember, it affects all areas of life. So if you have a personality disorder, you're impacted at home, you're impacted at school, you're impacted at work, you're impacted on the social scene. It is not simply I have difficulty when I'm at school, or I have difficulty with other teenagers, but I don't have difficulties with teachers. Okay, no, no. You're going to have a difficulty across all spectrums of life, no matter if it's work, play, school, home. There's going to be difficulty. So that's really important to remember. Remember, do not self-diagnose. Don't do that. All right, good. So personality disorder, that's the basic line here. All right, cool. Moving on to the second part. Well, what causes a personality disorder? Well, some experts believe that events occur during your childhood exert a powerful influence. So we've talked about this over and over again in psych. The things that happen in your childhood can impact how you become an adult and whether you trust people and other things. So it's possible that early childhood experiences, maybe some sort of abuse, creates a personality disorder. Other things indicate that people are genetically. Oh, here's the different diagnosis, by the way. Look at this. So this is parental behavior, low affection, meaning that your parent shows you almost no affection, and then harsh parenting. You can see that on this, and then how it impacts it. And then there's a listing of all the different personality disorders. You can see that there's quite a few of them that are impacted by parental behavior. So again, things that happen when you're a child can impact whether you end up with some sort of personality disorder. All right, sorry. Let's move on. So one, early childhood could be a reason. Second reason is that you're just genetically predisposed. Like there are family members, or maybe family members you don't know. Maybe it was like a great grandparent, and they had this problem, and therefore you're genetically disposed to it. So someone can be genetically predisposed. It could be that you had something happen in your childhood, and then the reality is that it's probably some sort of mix of both, where there are environmental factors that may cause a person to get it. And environmental, we mean like your childhood and where you grew up, but also you're genetically vulnerable, just like we've talked about, or we'll talk about here with alcohol. If you have family members that abuse alcohol, like you're much more likely to abuse alcohol. One, environmentally you are, and then two, there's probably like a genetic component there that makes you more likely to become addicted. So you have to be real careful. So like most things, there's probably both. There's probably some events that might have happened, but there's also could be genetic issues that are underlying that help cause a personality disorder. And then it's important to remember that everyone can exhibit some of these personality traits from time to time. To meet the diagnosis requirement of a personality disorder, these traits must be inflexible. They don't change. They are repeatedly observed without regard to time, place, or circumstance. So, like I said, it's not just that you have the certain personality traits at work or just at school. All of us can have these traits from time to time, depending on the situation or relationship we're in. These symptoms cause problems with interpersonal relationships, whether you're at school, or you're at home. That's really critical to remember. All right, awesome. That's the first lesson. I want you to read over it. I want you to try to cover up and practice if you can, and see if you can get the answers correctly and try to describe it maybe to a family member or just say it out loud to yourself. And then you're going to do the practice on this. That's the first part of this lesson. Thanks.